So it happened. I was going to start my snowblower and the rope broke, and I was like, well, I'll just tie a knot and put it back together, and then I realized it's coming apart right here in the middle, so I'm going to show you how to replace it. I went to the store and I was looking at what they sell for replacements, and they're garbage. So I'm going to use a piece of paracord. This is a standard cheapo MTD single stage snowblower. Works great, especially for wet slushy stuff. MTD is actually the one that is now making Craftsman. I was in Lowe's the other day and looking to see what they had for sale. I don't need one, but you know, always looking. And wouldn't you know it, the new Craftsman is made by MTD. Has this exact layout, engine sitting on this kind of a shelf with little lawnmower wheels on the ends. I didn't buy this thing because it was the greatest. This is an actual one that just calls itself a Yard Machine MTD. And I got an excellent deal on it because the plastic up here on top was cracked, and they had it marked down almost half price at Walmart. So if you buy it at Walmart, if you buy it at Lowe's, you're pretty much getting the same thing. And all I'm doing is, this is the cover for the recoil. It pulls the rope back in after you pull it out. There's 3 bolts. They're 8mm, at least on mine. They might be a little different from year to year. And that is how you get to the recoil. So once you get the recoil off, like I said, just 3 bolts, and they just simply go here and here. The reason there are 6 holes, even though there's only 3 bolts, is to give you an alignment for the actual cord exit. Now if you're looking at this, one of the things you have to figure out is which way does it turn. So obviously when you go this way, see those 2 pawls right there coming out? That's the inertial assembly right inside of there. And they indicate which direction the rope goes in, because as you pull this way, they come out and engage the engine, and then as the spring rewinds, they retract. If you look, there's the knot right there where your old rope was just tied off so that it didn't pull through. And just grab a pair of pliers, and that's about usually what you'll find, unless it wears through somewhere else like mine was on its way of doing. Then if you look here, I have my old rope laid out for length, and I'm just going to take my coil of paracord here, find the end, just match it up for length. Obviously give yourself a couple more inches because you lost an inch probably in the knot, and you're going to have a knot on the other end. And the same thing's true here on the handle end. Got to get down inside of there. Get a hold of that rope. A pair of needle nose pliers or a pick. And pull it out. It's a nice handle. Like I said, I would have just tied the rope off a little shorter and used it that way. I've done that before with lawnmowers and stuff, but it was frayed and it was going to wear out in another spot. So now I'll just match the length of these two and be ready to install it. So once you've got your cord, you need to match it up, take the end, tie a good knot in it that will hold it, lay it out, measure it against your new cord that you're putting in. In this case, I just got some cheap diamond braid paracord type of stuff. It's actually the same diameter and about as tough as what came out of it. So take and figure where you're going to cut it. Figure there's going to be a knot, so give it a little more. Cut your cord. take the end of your cord, feed it through the but before you feed it through the feed that goes into the machine itself, you need to feed it through the part on the recoil winder. So find that with the end of your cord, get it to go through that hole. And if you have a hard time getting it through the hole, like running into here, just a piece of tape wrapped tightly around with a little bit that you can fish through ahead and grab with the pliers will help you get that started. And so once you got it, just keep pulling until it's all the way fed through. And that stop is down there inside. It's not going to catch on anything because the profile of the knot is down inside. And then the direction that that rope is wound is indicated by the way the knot is facing. So just take and make sure your rope is tucked down in side of that pulley on the recoil assembly. And you notice I can just spin this backwards and feed the rope on at the same time, because that's how this assembly works without any problem. Now that I've found where I want it to be, feed that rope out through the feed port that's on the bottom of the engine here. And this, by the spring, should recoil. And that's where it's happy, right about there. And then when you go to put this on, the most important thing is just which way does that guide tube, feed tube right there, face, and then find the holes that line up with that orientation out of the 6 that they provide on the whole assembly. Start your first bolt, but remember, don't tighten it down all the way. You just want to get them all started. I hope you align the rest of them. I'll help you find the others to be able to stick it through the hole in the assembly, and then use the tip of the bolt to feel for the hole in the engine casing that it actually screws into. And then just remember that it's every other one that actually has a screw. That'll help you know which way to face it. And really, it's a pretty simple operation. And you just tighten down your screws once you get them started. Obviously, don't torque them like you're trying to stick the hole out. Once you feel a little tension, go a little tighter. Basically a quarter of a spin on the ratchet head. Usually way is plenty enough. If you go more than that, you're just going to strip out the threads in the engine casing, because they're just simply stamped into it. And then once you've got them all tight, it's just simply a matter of running the cord up to the guide on the handle that it goes through right here, putting that big pull handle on the end of it, like so. Once again, using that piece of tape to help feed it through. Pull it up. then just tie a knot in here and you're back in business. And the trick with the knot is, of course, you're trying to get it to be fat to help hold. So going through, I don't know, 2-3 times through the same loop. Letting that go down tight. It's not going to pull out of that hole. Be all set. And that is how to repair your pull rope when it fails in a snowstorm, but got you back in business.